What is going on? It's Medicosis Perfectionis, where medicine makes perfect sense. Let's continue our biology playlist. Today we'll talk about the basics of the endocrine system. What does endocrine mean? Well, it's a gland that secretes its secretions, known as hormones, directly into the bloodstream, such as your pituitary gland, your thyroid gland, your adrenal gland, etc. This video is in the biology playlist. If you want more details, check out my endocrinology playlist. Let's compare between nervous stimulation and hormonal stimulation. Nervous stimulation is fast. Hormone is slow. It takes time. Nervous, look at this, look at it. A neuron, boom, muscle contract. That's very fast. But hormone, the gland has to make the secretion and then secrete that hormone. And then the hormone goes to the bloodstream. And then the bloodstream will take it to the heart. The heart will pump it. And the heart will pump it all over your body. Oh, it takes a lot of time. Nervous system, somatic or autonomic. In other words, voluntary or involuntary. Hormonal is always involuntary. The nervous system is always firing. Neurons are always firing. But hormones are secreted only when you need them. It's like Netflix on demand. Hormones secreted when needed in very small amount. They are measured in micrograms or even nanograms. Highly active could be steroidal, fat, or not fat, lipid soluble, water soluble, and they act via secondary messenger system. Alright, where's the primary messenger? The hormone is the primary messenger. The second messenger is something like the G protein. If you want to know more about the G protein, I have a separate video just on this topic. Autocrine, paracrine, endocrine. What's the difference? Autocrine is a cell that secretes something to act on the same freaking cell. Paracrine is a cell that secretes something to act on the neighboring cell. Keep it in the neighborhood. Keep it local. Endocrine, however, is a cell that secretes its hormone into the bloodstream, which will take it into distant locations. Not in the neighborhood, no, far away, international. Exocrine glands, like your salivary glands or sweat glands, have a duct. But endocrine glands are ductless. They don't have a duct, they just dump their secretions into the bloodstream. Big companies have a CEO, and then general managers, and then employees, and independent contractors. Same thing here, hypothalamus, pituitary, and then glands that obey the pituitary. These are the employees, and they include thyroid gland, adrenal cortex, gonads. How about those who don't care about the pituitary? Parathyroid, adrenal medulla, and pancreas. Let's talk about the glands that obey. In order for the pituitary to talk to the thyroid gland, the pituitary will secrete thyroid-stimulating hormone. And now you stimulate the thyroid. When the pituitary wants to talk to the adrenal cortex, it will secrete the adrenocorticocortex tropic growth hormone. If I want to talk to the gonads, LH and FSH, also known as gonadotropins. CEO, general manager. Remember, you have anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. Most of the hormones come from the anterior pituitary, with two famous exceptions that come straight from the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will give them to the posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary will give them to the blood. These two are ADH and oxytocin. Antidiuretic hormone, oxytocin. The blood pressure hormone, the love and bonding hormone. If I was distracted while crossing the street and I got hit by a car, lost all kinds of blood, developed hypovolemia, and my blood pressure decreased, ADH will make sure that the blood pressure does not drop even more. ADH will try to raise the blood pressure. That's the ADH. Oxytocin, love and bonding hormone. Love-making hormone, it also binds mommy with her baby. Why do these come from the posterior pituitary? Because they come from the hypothalamus. Posterior pituitary does not make anything. It just stores what the hypothalamus gave her. So why do these have to come from the hypothalamus? Because the hypothalamus is part of the limbic system, which is related to memory. If you was distracted like this, do you think you should remember this to learn from your mistakes? Of course I should remember this. Therefore, hypothalamus, memory. But mommy, should mommy remember the pain of childbirth? Well, if mommy remembered the pain of childbirth, it is so bad, by the way, mommy will never repeat this. Mommy will never get pregnant again. And humanity will go extinct, because for human beings to break even and to maintain the current number of people, each lady should give birth to 2.1 children. So oxytocin is from the hypothalamus, and it helps your brain forget the pain. That's why these two come from the hypothalamus. Everything else, anterior pituitary. Let's talk about the thyroid gland. Alright, The thyroid gland secretes thyroid hormone, T3 and T4. Who's gonna stimulate the thyroid gland, TSH, from the anterior pituitary? Okay, who's gonna stimulate the anterior pituitary to stimulate the thyroid? Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will release TRH, which goes to the pituitary and tells the pituitary to secrete TSH. TSH will go to the thyroid and tell the thyroid to secrete thyroid hormone. TRH stands for thyroid releasing hormone, and TSH stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. T3 is triiodothyronine, T4 is tetraiodothyronine. Let's say that we have a patient and the patient is secreting less T3 and T4 than normal. Where's the problem? Well, the problem could be in the thyroid. We call this primary hypothyroidism. Or the problem could be the inability of the anterior pituitary to make TSH, and we call this secondary hypothyroidism. Or the problem could be lack of the hypothalamus ability to secrete TRH. We call this tertiary hypothyroidism. Because if the hypothalamus doesn't make TRH, the anterior pituitary will not make TSH, and the thyroid will not make T3 and T4. The patient will suffer the symptoms of hypothyroidism. Now this is the most important slide in the entire lecture. It's going to help you answer lots of questions. Let's go. Hypothalamus secretes GHRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, which goes to the anterior pituitary to tell her to secrete growth hormone. Growth hormone is also known as somatotropin. Growth hormone goes to the liver to secrete IGF-1. What's the function of growth hormone? Growth. It helps you build up protein, bones, cartilages, muscles, all kinds of good stuff. The hypothalamus can also secrete somatostatin, which inhibits everything, including the growth hormone. Hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin-releasing hormone. It goes to the anterior pituitary, telling her to secrete LH and FSH, also known as gonadotropin. Gonadotropin will go to the gonads in males to tell them to secrete testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, and inhibin. In females, to tell her to secrete estrogen, progesterone, and inhibin. What's the gonad in males? Testicles. Females, ovaries. Hypothalamus secretes TRH, goes to the anterior pituitary to secrete TSH, goes to the thyroid to secrete T3 and T4. Hypothalamus secretes CRH, goes to the anterior pituitary to tell her to secrete ACTH, which goes to the adrenal cortex, not middle, cortex. The cortex will secrete cortisol and androgen. Hypothalamus, with the same TRH, the same one like this one, yep, same TRH, will secrete prolactin. Prolactin's pro-lactation, it's pro-breastfeeding, milk secretion. If you want to inhibit prolactin, dopamine is your man. All of this was anterior pituitary. How about posterior pituitary? First of all, the posterior does not create anything. It just stores whatever the hypothalamus gave her, and these include ADH and oxytocin. We have two types of hormones, lipid-soluble and water-soluble. Don't forget your blood has plasma, which is made of water, but the cell membrane is made of lipid. It's called a phospholipid bilayer. If you are lipid soluble, well, we cannot let you float inside the plasma because the plasma is water. Therefore, someone has to carry you in the plasma, and this is the plasma protein. But once we get you close to the cell membrane, you will just diffuse through the cell membrane because you are lipid and the cell membrane is lipid. Lipid can diffuse through lipid. On the other hand, if you're water soluble, can you float in the blood which is made of plasma, which is made of water? Absolutely. Do you need plasma protein? Shut up, no. But once you go to the membrane, you will not be able to enter. Access denied. Why? Because you're water, but the cell membrane is lipid bilayer. Therefore, we have to put a receptor on the outside, and this receptor will carry your signal. And the second messenger is the middleman, which will connect the receptor on the outside with the enzymes on the inside. If you are lipid soluble, you will cross through the membrane, but this takes a lot of time because lipid diffusing through lipid it's a very slow process. Usually it ends up by entering into the nucleus and then gene transcription, translation, you make proteins. We call this the genomic action because it's related to genes. On the other hand, water soluble, usually the receptors on the outside, and usually just flip a switch. It's a very fast process, and you sometimes secrete previously made proteins. They are ready. There is no need to make from scratch, and that's why we call it non-genomic. Pause and review. Where should I put the receptor? Well, if the hormone is water soluble, it will not be able to diffuse through the membrane. put the receptor on the outside. But if the hormone is lipid soluble, put the receptor on the inside because it will be able to diffuse. It could be cytoplasmic receptor or nuclear receptor. What are these lipid soluble hormones? Alright, whatever is secreted by the thyroid, whatever is secreted by the suprarenal cortex, whatever is secreted by the sex gland or the gonads. What is secreted by the thyroid? Thyroxine. How about suprarenal cortex? You have your corticosteroids and sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, etc. How about polar? Well, polar are the proteins and the peptides, such as PTH, which comes from the parathyroid, epinephrine from the adrenal medulla, not cortex, medulla, insulin and glucagon from the pancreas. So, lipid soluble includes steroids and thyroid hormone. The receptor is internal. Water soluble or polar, you have protein, peptides, pituitary, pancreas, parathyroid secretions. Receptor is external. There is a rule in biology. If you're bound, you're not active. If you're free, you're active. What does that mean? If the hormone is bound to plasma protein, it cannot exert any physiological function. But if the hormone is freely floating in the bloodstream, well, it can exert physiological functions. Now I want you to read my 10 foundational rules of endocrinology. If you want to understand this stuff better, check out my endocrinology playlist here on YouTube. And we shall continue in the next video. In the meantime, pause and review. I have premium courses on my website, like the Utacoids Pharmacology course and the beloved Endocrine Pharmacology course. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit the bell, and click on the join button. You can support me here or here. Go to my website to download my courses. Be safe, stay happy, study hard. This is Medicosis Perfectionalis, where medicine makes perfect sense.